Hey, my wonderful sweet baby. So today we're doing Baddies Midwest review for episode 6. So the episode pretty much just picks up where it left off, which is with Lex and, Ivory going at it. And I must say that Lex turned Ivory every which way but loose. The funniest part of this moment is when Ivory was in denial of how much Lex had really got the upper hand on her. She was talking about girl knots. Knots where? Ain't nobody got knots on them. Meanwhile, Ivory was walking around with a huge knot on top of her eyebrow. The even funnier part was actually seeing Jayla's reaction to this when she was hearing all this go down, because you could tell that Jayla was in the back trying her hardest not to laugh at Ivory for this. So then after that, pretty much, Ivory was escorted out because she couldn't even see straight. So then Jayla and Big Lex just went back to arguing again. Which at this part, it was really kind of useless because neither of them did nothing to each other. And honestly, to me, it looked like after Jayla seen what happened to Ivory, she really didn't want no more smoke with Big Lex after that. So really then after that, Tinka really just walked in to kind of be messy a little bit. Then we really just start heading into the next scene, which is where, Tinka and Scotty are sitting and they actually get on FaceTime with Natalie. In this moment, Scotty actually talks to Natalie and expresses that she, had fades with Emma. And she states that it was over the same situation of the whole her being boring thing. In this moment, I could tell messy ass Natalie wanted to laugh so bad, but she held it back. She just did like a little disbelief chuckle, like, girl, what? So then after that, that's when Scotty goes, yes, Nat, me and Emma got into it again. And then Natalie goes, oh, this is a completely different season then, I guess, huh? So then pretty much, Natalie tells the girls, like, okay, we don't really have time for this. We got to just get ready so then we can go to the club and do our appearance. So after this, the girls pretty much get ready so then they can go to the club. So once the girls are all ready and they're getting ready for the club, the girls are all on the bus and they're getting ready to go to the club. And that's when, Summer starts popping her stuff like she usually does. So then Summer actually mentions the girl that snuck her the last time they went to the club and says that that won't be happening again. And she even mentioned, Mariah Lynn. And she was pretty much saying the Mariah that I took her job. So then here comes messy tail ass Natalie, and she whips out her phone and actually calls Mariah to let her know that Summer said she stole her job. And at this point, like, Mariah should actually be embarrassed because you're not on the show. But then the boss that actually could have put you on the show is calling you about some mess that you're not even there to defend yourself on. But then also sits there and in the meantime has you defending yourself from the phone and from your couch. I wouldn't have even answered that phone call, but yeah, that's what Natalie did. A great time at their appearance, and everything is going smooth. The crowd's lit. Everybody's everybody's all performing their amazing hits. Then DTB gets on the mic because everybody is requesting her. Then, DTB, she does this little chant. Next thing you know, everybody starts actually whooping everybody up in the audience. Once this happens, the girls are pretty much like, okay, since everything is getting chaotic at this point, we gotta go. We then switch to another scene, and in this scene, we see Rolly, and Rolly explains that she wasn't able to go to the club because she needed her little BBL massages, and because of that, she wasn't able to go to the club with the girls. So then the OGs, as well as, the celeb girls, they all sit on the sprinter and they're talking about everything and they're pretty much catching up. So Jayla ends up talking about her situation with Big Lex and how that all went down, and then how Ivory ended up stepping in as well. And also, not to mention, Ivory was about to be able to sit out on the last club appearance, but she actually came in at the last minute with, her knot. Then, pretty much after that, Scotty talks about her situation with Emma and how that all went down. Then, they mention how Natalie was pretty much being messy because she says that she likes Emma, and Scotty was saying that that is her op. And then Scotty brought up how, Natalie is kind of fake because when she started following DJ Sky and Natalie wasn't, okay with that, she had made up a whole issue with her and Scotty and ended up unfollowing Scotty over that. So in the end, Natalie just mentions, you know what, I do like Emma. So then that's when the OGs as well as the celeb girls link up with the newbies as well as the original three girls. Then Natalie mentions that she wants to do like this baddie song with all of the baddies. Rolly actually stirs up controversy because she mentions that the best rapper on the bus is Akbar. I guess this didn't sit well with Biggie because she tried to excuse herself and then she tries to mention that she's the best rapper and that, Akbar was a good rapper during her time. This causes issues between Akbar and Biggie and they get into a shouting match. Eventually, all the girls settle to this location in which they're about to do an activity. So the girls are all split into three different groups. Before they can actually go into their groups, Dolly actually steps up to Anna over the same situation. So when she steps to Anna, Anna is pretty much telling her like she is not about to keep going back and forth with her about the same situation. Then in comes Taseki. Taseki gets in the middle and she actually, forcefully moves Bad Dolly back. This didn't sit well with Bad Dolly, so Bad Dolly decided to cool Taseki off with her lemonade. Then Taseki decides she's going to eat, and Bad Dolly is the one she's going to eat. And Bad Dolly, I'm not even going to lie, she held her own. But then in this instance, the girls, were all separated. Taseki went her way, Bad Dolly went her way. So when Bad Dolly went her way because she actually had alcohol in her eye, she actually started talking to Diamond, and Diamond was actually, enamored by this girl. Like she started liking Bad Dolly. The OG girls was like, what is Diamond doing over there next to her? I think it's because they were just looking like, girl, where's your loyalty? Like, you're supposed to be on our side with the OG girls. But I think that Diamond just really liked the fact that Bad Dolly did not run from a fade. She was actually holding her own, which is something that Diamond did as well. And I think that that's what made Diamond flock to her. So Emma, Scotty, Lex, and Ivory are all in the same group, and surprisingly, nothing happens, and they end up making donuts, and everything was peaceful. Then in the other group, we had Tinka and Paula P. So Paula P gets upset at Tinka because Tinka told her to move out the way. So then in return, Paula decides to give insults to injury to Tinka. From there, these two just start going at it with a shouting match. When Tinka gives Natalie the eye to get out of the way, Natalie moves out of the way and Paula and Tinka go at it. Then from a mile away, Diamond notices this and she sneaks Paula. Child, I don't know why Diamond keeps wanting to sneak Paula, but she really needs to get her tooth in so then she can actually have a fair one-on-one. Then surprisingly, out of the blue, here comes Summer and she wants to fade Paula too. So I came up to the consensus that this new like little group is going to be Tinka, Diamond, Bad Dolly, and Summer. So that whole situation ended briefly with the whole little activity. Then the girls go back on the bus and they start eating. Scotty then calls out Emma and says that she's the boring one because now she's in the back of the bus eating her food, not communicating with none of the girls. So the girls actually go get her and let Scotty say these things to her face. I don't know if Emma was scared or what, but she didn't do nothing. And Emma and Scotty didn't end up doing nothing to each other. Even though if Emma wanted to have an issue with Scotty at that moment, right then would have been the best time for her to actually get it in with Scotty. So when the girls all make it back to the house, that's when Summer and Bad Dolly are all hyped. So when Paula comes back into the house, she goes immediately after Summer and her and Summer go. Summer did what Summer usually does, which is never standing on business. And Paula definitely got that one. So then that's when Bad Dolly comes in and she goes after Paula and she stands on business. And that's where the episode ends. So here's my thoughts. This was a much better episode than last week. I'm actually starting to like Bad Dolly. I feel like this episode really showed that she's about what she says she's about. And contrary to popular demand, I think that she actually held her own with Taseki. Like, Taseki didn't 100% eat her. And I think that Paula and DTB need to really just go at it because DTB is really looking weak right now. And Paula is still getting on my nerves thinking that she's the baddest. But that's my opinion. What's yours?